What's going on, everybody? What's going on, everybody? Listen, this message was supposed to be already recorded and sent out, but there was not supposed to be an event on Saturday. This is actually for Sunday. This is part two of the Potter's Touch, the healing hand. Part two of the Potter's Touch, the healing hand. Now, this is all about the story when Christ healed a blind man. And we're going to go through the text together and we're going to talk about this. And it says like this, it begins like just like this. As he went along, he saw a man blind from birth. His disciples asked him, Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? Neither the man nor the parents sinned, said Jesus, but this happened so that the works of God might be displayed in him. As long as it is day, we must do the work of him who sent me. Night is coming when no one can work. While I am in the world, I am the light of the world. So let's look at this. He said this man was blinded at birth. The parents didn't sin, no one did anything wrong. This particular situation happened so that the glory of God can be shown in that even though through his situation, no matter what is going on, our afflictions that we go through is designed for us as people of God to persevere through. What does that mean? Oh, we're gonna go through something. Yeah, we're gonna have elements. Yeah, this is a part of getting older. This is a part of life. And when we have these things, we tend to find out what's happening behind it. Who do we go to? Now, that doesn't mean you got to go through something or be harmed to believe in God. No, God made you in your own design, in your health, and your fortune and your misfortune, and the things that you deal with. God has it made for you to be built in the right measure and still be a part and still be in his hand. So you got to learn things. You got to grow with things. This is a part of what we do. This is why he said, "Hey, your perfections are there on purpose. You're not made to be perfect. You're not made to be one of those individuals that's going to see everything and do everything right. No, it's for a reason. It's a reason why you're addicted to certain things. It's a reason why you are in position with certain things. Does that mean you need to change your ways? Yeah. Do your best you can to change. But at the same time, remember, when you come out of it, the work that you did to get out of it is for a reason. It is on purpose. So once again, let's keep going. It says, after saying this, he spit on the ground and made some mud. Hold up. Let's go back. Let's go back. Let's go back. I think we missed something. At verse number 4, it says, as long as it was day, we made do with the work of him. We who sent me, night is coming when no one can work. While I am in the world, I am the light of the world. After saying this, he spit on the ground and made mud with the saliva, meaning his spit in his mouth, and put it on the man's eyes. And go, he told him, wash in the pool of Solomon. This word means sent. So the man went and washed and came home seeing. His neighbors and those who had formerly seen him began asking, isn't this the same man who used to sit and beg? Some claimed that he was. Others said, no, he only looks like him. So I must say this. They didn't recognize this man after God laid his hands on them. This part of the series of the Potter's Touch, I want you to understand why we're talking about the healing hand is because, as you see, all God had to do was spit on the ground. All Jesus did was spit on the ground, take his hand, make mud, put it on his eye, and washed it away to the point that he became healed, he became clean. So it is to the point that his own people didn't even recognize him. See, when you're in God's hands, a lot of people won't recognize who you are because the way you stand is not the same. You don't operate the same. You don't look the same. You don't stand in the same measures. You stand in position of where that you can grow and be in the greatest highlight, but be different at the same time, to the point that others won't recognize who you are. Now that is the remnant of it all. It's all about you being different, you being in position to proclaim, you being in position to stand and be greater than what you used to be. Because when you are in the potter's hand, no one can harm you, no one can touch you. It's going to be to the point that no one can recognize you. You're not the same man or same woman that was wanting and asking people for things. You're not the same man or same woman that was addicted to drugs, addicted to pornography, addicted to sexual perversion, addicted to the world. You won't be recognized when God's hand is forming you and in position to the point that he can heal you. But it starts with you handing yourself over to him so that you can be delivered in the right measure in the healing hand. And then it goes to read, it says, but he himself is instead, I am the man who then were your eyes open and they asked. He replied, the man they called Jesus made some mud and put it on my eye. He told me to go to Solomon and wash. So I went and washed, and then I could see. Then he said, where is this man? They asked him. I don't know, he said. The Pharisees investigated the healing. They brought to the Pharisees the man who had been blind. Now the day of which Jesus had made the mud and opened the man's eyes was a Sabbath. Therefore, the Pharisees also asked him how he had received his sight. He put mud on my eyes, and the man replied, and I washed, and now I see. Some of the Pharisees, this man is not from God, but he does not keep the Sabbath. But others asked, how can a sinner perform such signs? So they were divided. So what just happened? The Pharisees, these people, did not understand the power of God. They only understood man-made law. They were in disbelief, disregard, but didn't understand. This man just kept saying the same thing. He put mud on my eyes. Now I see. I gave myself to him, and he provided. I told him I belong to you, and he allowed me in. I confess with my mouth and believe in thy heart, and I got baptized in his name, and he called me his own. We tell people that, but they don't believe it just because all they see is what they used to see. Every time they see your face, or when the school system puts certain markings on student bodies, such as, oh, they're special ed, they're this, they're that. People say you're a whoremonger, but the person that you are doesn't match who that is. They don't match what you used to look like. They don't match what you used to do. They don't match where you came from. They don't match where you're standing and where you're going. It doesn't match. So people still will stand in disbelief. Mm. Now it says, they still do not believe that he had been blind and had received his sight until they sent for the man's parents. Is this your son? They asked. Is this the one you said was born blind? How is it that now he can see? We now we know he is our son. The parents answered, and we know he was born blind, but how he can see it now, or who opened his eyes, we don't know. Ask him. He is of age. He will speak for himself. His parents said this because they were afraid of what the Jews leader, who already had decided that anyone who acknowledges that Jesus was the Messiah would be put out of the synagogue. That was why his parents said, he is of age, ask him. His parents said he is of age, ask him. He's been telling you already that Christ put his hands on me, and I was able to see. He put mud in my eyes, and I was able to see. Your parents was not willing to say who Christ was and saying he was the Messiah because they was afraid of what the Jews would do. Let me tell you something. When you belong to God, there's going to be things that's going to come up against you. There's going to be people who are going to ask questions. People are going to jump in front of you and try to belittle you, trying to show disbelief in your word, disbelief in your actions, because they don't believe what you're saying or can't hold custom to what you're trying to present. It's all in the favorable eyes of that particular individual, which they know the truth, but instead of believing what you're saying, they choose to deny it. The healing hand. The healing hand is in your midst, to the point that no matter what this world has to say, when God turns you into the greatest thing, no one can speak against you. You sit there and wonder why you can't get the job that you're after. Well, the people in this world have a hard time looking at what you already know how to do. They look at your resume. They look at what you built like. They look at what you know. They look at what you design like. And because you don't fit into their customs, don't fit into what they want you to fit in, don't fit into the things that you're supposed to look like. You don't fit because your hair is not dyed. You don't fit because your hair is not in the same fashion that society says. You don't fit because you don't measure into what the world says. But when you fit in the hands of God, everything else has to fall down. The healing hand. And then it says, a second time, they summoned the man who had been blind and gave glory to God by telling the truth. They said, "We know this man is a sinner." He replied, "Whether he is a sinner or not, I do not know. One thing I do know, I was blind, but now I see." They called Christ a sinner because he didn't keep the man-made holiday that the Jewish customs had. He did God's work to show reference to the kingdom, to heal the affliction that this man was born with. They wanted to find reason, find blame. Well, because of this document right here, because man-made dictation, man-made doctrine says this, but God's word says this. That's the problem. That's what we're seeing in this text. And he says, he answered, "I have told you already, and you do not listen. Why do you want to hear it again? Do you want to become his disciple too?" Then they hurled assaults at him and said, "You are the fellows of disciples. We are disciples of Moses. We know that God spoke to Moses, but as for the fellow, we don't even know where he came from." Let's back it up. Moses follows Christ. Even though he spoke to them, that means these people are believing that just because God spoke to one, that he can't speak to another. God gave reference to one, but he can't speak to another. Let's understand this. When God designed us, if you follow him, if you're in his healing hand, if you're walking on the narrow road, no matter how many times you fall short, if you're standing in position, he can speak to you. He will deliver to you. He will give a word to you. But the people around them doubt you because they believe God is only designed to speak to certain people a certain way when we're all designed differently. It's like you suspecting mustard to taste like ketchup. It's like you suspecting somebody's gifts to look like the other. No one is the same. They believe that God can only talk to one. That's wild to me. Then it says that the man answered. Now that is remarkable. You don't know where he comes from, yet he opened my eyes. We know that God does not listen to sinners. He listens to the godly person who does his will. Nobody has ever heard of opening the eye of the man born blind. If this man were not from God, he could do nothing. Listen to that one more time. He said, this man were not from God, he could do nothing. So what is this blind man saying? If he wasn't designed by God and built by God, the healing would never have happened. There will be, it was no form of quackery like within the medical field when they try to diagnose you and give you certain medication and make you believe that you have this. None of that would exist. It'll be cure after cure after cure after cure. But let's look at it. If he was not from God, this would not come to pass. So he was in reference, the blind man knew who God was, but society denied it. The same people that follow Moses didn't know who he followed, or did know and did not show reference. Because if we go back into the Bible, we remember Moses at one point separated from the flock because he slapped a rock instead of touching it and letting God do his work. Then God talked to another and another and another and another and another. Let's keep going. There then says, to this they reply, you were steeped in sin at birth. How dare you lecture us? And they threw him out. Spiritual blindness. Jesus heard that they had thrown him out. And when he found him, he said, do you believe in the Son of Man? Who is he, sir? The man asked, tell me so that I may believe in him. Jesus said, you have now seen him. In fact, he is the one speaking with you. Then the man said, Lord, I believe, and he worshiped him. Jesus said, oh, wait, this is so good. Jesus said, for judgment I have come into this world so that the blind will see, and those who see will become blind. Let's read that again. Jesus said, for judgment I have come into this world so that the blind will see, and those who see become blind. I have come in this world so that the blind will see and those who see will become blind. Meaning you won't be able to see nothing but Christ. Some Pharisees who were with him heard him say this and asked, what are we blind to? Jesus said, if you were blind, you would not be guilty of sin. But now that they claim you can see, you're guilty. Your guilt remains. Let's hear it again. Jesus said, if you were blind, you would not be guilty of sin. But now that you claim you can see, your guilt remains. Let me tell you something. When you're in God's hands, his healing hands, when you're in the potter's touch, God's hands, and you're seeing and following him, the world don't hold a candle to you when you are being in position of being healed. Sometimes it's not meant for everybody to hear. Sometimes God's work is meant to stay between you and Him. Sometimes people have to hear stories of you being healed and transformed, but they see it on your physical being. Sometimes your walk, your talk is reference enough to the point that everyone else can just be in your presence and don't have to know a word. They walk different, they talk different, they stand stronger, they built stronger, all because of the remnant of Christ. So, my brother, my sister, when you're in God's healing hands, you new believer, understand this. No matter what, stand strong. Stay in His hand. Stay on the narrow road. Accept God as your Savior and watch how it changes. Because the healing touch that God put over your life, the healing touch, the world won't believe. The healing touch, the people will never know. They will doubt you. They'll talk about you. They'll try to deny jobs from you. They'll try to deny certain things from you because of their laws and not God's laws. Welcome to the Potter's Touch, the healing hand.